rolling down the AT Appalachian Trail. Hey yo, rolling down the AT Appalachian Trail.
Hey, this is the first day out of Whiteville. I just came off the trail down there, and there are no white blazes anywhere. No clue where to go. This road goes that way, there's a little road that goes this way, road goes this way. Do you see any blazes? Well, I mean, what are we supposed to do? Well, I'm having a pretty good day. How you guys doing? Running into all kinds of things on the trail. We got some construction going here. The sign up there said beware of heavy trucks. There's the second blade, and it blazed in about 2/10 of a mile. So, where's the next one? Am I supposed to go down this road or that road? Well, I guess it's this road because that one kind of just dead ends. Yeah, okay. Came down that gravel road going this way. Like we're hijacking a highway for a little bit until we get over the interstate. What a view! Well, we're going to follow this road here and over the interstate down there. That's 77, what we came in on today from taking a zero. I don't know if you can see it, the fence over there going up the mountain. I can either go this way or this way. And what do I spy on the side of the mountain here? A sideways blaze. I've never seen one painted sideways. Maybe the only one on the trail, I don't know. That's where we're going. And then I see another blaze up here on the guardrail. You see it? All right, we're going the right direction. I'm trying to get a trucker to blow his horn. Come on, buddy, blow your horn. Blow your horn. All right. Again, it's the simple things that means so much. The blaze. I guess we go this way. It's the second week out of Whiteville this month. Gosh, my hair looks bad. I'm sorry. This month we're changing from winter to summer gear, and so last night was our first night in hammocks. It was terrible. We froze. I mean, it was awful. We froze. Yadro and I didn't camp together. I have no idea where he is. I thought he was behind me, but I went off trail a half a mile to Trent Grocery. Thought he might have got ahead of me. And so I had waited for him at a shelter, and I waited for him, stopped and cooked on a trail, and he never came along. So either he's ahead of me or his big toe's giving him problems. It has since the initial get-go, and he was having trouble walking. He's kind of stomping, bobbing his head up and down. Oop. There he went. Well, this is a nice little spot to stop and have a bite to eat. I may have messed up. I've mismanaged my water. I didn't look at the elevation changes. Got to go through approximately 4,000 feet of elevation change. And I only had 1.5 liters of water before I started this change. So I might be hurting. I've come up 2,000 feet. I'm trying not to drink too much water, but we'll see what happens. Trying to conserve. Well, I was in a bit of a quandary. It was towards the end of the day. I only had a few ounces of water left. And the water was on the other side of a very big hill. What should I do? When a solution presented itself to me. There's a hostel down the road, a hostel that I had on my list, of a hostel that must be seen, recommended by YouTubers I had been watching, and by people I met on the trail. Woods Hole Hostel is a working organic farm. It has goats, pigs, cattle, and a multitude of gardens. There are some ducks that like to traipse through as well. Any food that is served there is served fresh from their gardens or fresh from their Amish neighbors' gardens. It is by far the best food found on the trail in any hostel, I dare say, period. They have a bunkhouse, they have a place for tents, a place for hammocks. The whole place is thoughtfully laid out. Neville and her husband Michael own the place and run the place. Neville's grandparents bought this house in the 1800s, and it's still standing today. They bought it because he needed to do research on elk for a year. After they finished that, they started aiding hikers, feeding them breakfast, and providing a place for them to escape from the rigors of the hike. When I knocked on the door at the house, tired and nearly dehydrated, she took one look at me and said, "You need a smoothie." Serving me a smoothie in a quart jar, the best I ever had. In the cozy kitchen of Neville, who has all kinds of spices and food, accoutrements, all over the place. And we had a dinner here last night that was nothing artificial. It was fresh from the garden, either from her garden or from the Amish. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And up in my room, I had a history of this place. Her grandparents settled in here. They were looking for a spot for her grandfather to do research on elk. And to make a long story short, her grandmother was the last survivor, and she had a terminal illness. And she said, "Who will feed the hikers when I'm gone?" Was one of the last statements she said. And it's obviously it's you that's feeding them now. And how did that get to you from her?
Okay, that's a good question. So before my grandmother passed away, she and I had formed a really strong bond, an unusual bond. Not many grandkids in their 20s decide to hang out with their grandmother. And I had gone to college, and in going to college, I had decided that I wanted to make an extension of my life and travel to India. Through my travels to India and seeing more life, all of a sudden, I just found myself coming home. And when I came home, and home was my grandmother's house, my mom lived close by, and living with my grandmother and staying with her and growing up with my grandmother and coming to the cabin, that bond just formed. Can't even explain it. So as I got older and I kept coming to the cabin, my grandmother started recognizing how much more I appreciated it than even when I was a little girl and appreciated it. And she'd look at the hikers and she'd say, "You know, y'all better come now. Neville's gonna run the hostel one day because it's gonna change." And I did not take that seriously. I just took that as a grain of possibility, but I didn't see it as a reality because she was running the hostel for free. She was serving breakfast for $3.50. This hostel is a very remote location. We're not close enough to a town to just go run to the grocery store. You gotta think ahead. And well, to kind of fast forward the story, my now husband Michael, he ends up through hiking the trail in 2005, and we met. He walked in one day to this hostel, and we became associated with each other. We got to just meet each other. And then he took a liking to me, and he said, "I wonder who this girl is. I want to get to know more about her." And in wanting to get more to know about me, he ended up falling in love with me. And so he had skills that were set for this kind of lifestyle. And I had a desire that was set for this kind of lifestyle. And when my grandmother got sick, it was not "Okay, Neville, you're going to run the hostel next." Not that at all. It was, my grandmother was sick. We came to the hostel. We ran the hostel. And she passed away. So after her passing, my mom and I was on the phone with my mom here, and in being on the phone, my mom, I really think it was spontaneous. She says, Neville, if I were to give you and Michael the hostel, would you want it? You'd have to take on the financial burden. You'd have to run the hostel. Or no, you would not have to run the hostel. You could do whatever you wanted, but it'd be off my plate. And I said yes. And I called Michael, and Michael said the U-Haul is packed. So the next question came from everybody, how are you gonna make a living? We didn't know. We had no idea how we make a living. It was not a customary thing to make a living running a hostel or make a living off of hikers. And we came to find out that whether it's taboo or negative or positive, who knows which direction it could go, we came to find out that we could manage to live here and that we could manage to create an awesome environment for hikers to come and visit and stay and rest and learn and be inspired and just continue our journey forward. There were a lot of stumbling blocks in the beginning, and there still are a lot of stumbling blocks, but I think my grandmother would be proud.
I'm sure she would. What year was it that you started?
2007 she passed away. 2008 they did a major renovation because the cabin was falling apart. And 2009 Michael and I moved up here that spring.
Well, I think you're doing a fantastic job, and it's just a wonderful place to come and rest. And thank you for taking time to talk to us.
Thank you.